Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Slayer Talk. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
How much? It's been a good week here. It is October 19th, 1999.
It is that.
And we are experiencing the harsh light of day. The name of this episode.
It was finally a good episode, guys.
Yes!
Yay.
I don't know if I was just so starved for a good episode, but I was so entertained by this episode.
It was a good one, though.
Oh, my God. There was some sexiness. Mm-hmm. There was some intrigue, some old friends, some new friends. And we finally feel like we have a base of operations between the Bronze and whatever weird, vague place Giles is living and Willow and Buffy's dorm room. I feel like we finally have some sets that we can get all of our characters together.
That's your base of operations? 3 separate locations?
Well,
one of which you can't even describe. I'm just saying.
Before, when they were in high school, their base of operations was the library, Buffy's house, and the cemetery. Or whatever. Like, they had other bases of operations, too.
Who's patrolling the cemetery now? That's what I want to know.
That doesn't matter anymore.
Like, did all the vampires move with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
They all went to college, too.
Sure. I mean, the college is in Sunnydale, so I feel like she could still be in the cemetery.
Yeah. Well, they're not. They got rid of that cemetery set.
It's really annoying to me. But anyway.
That's being used by a Dark Shadows remake.
So Buffy has a boyfriend. Not a boyfriend.
Yeah, so a boy she's
man
interested in. A man.
That she's spending time with.
It's a man.
It's that guy from last week who she wanted to kill her roommate over.
Parker?
Yeah.
Cole?
Parker.
Okay, it's Parker.
Parker.
Wow, I got it right the first time.
He did.
And it's not Parker Lewis, because this guy certainly can lose. Although not in this episode.
Apparently, he and Buffy have spent every day together for the last week, according to Willow.
Wow.
And she's staring at him, watching him play pool in a mirror while they're at the Bronze.
And she's just getting wet at the fact that she can see a love interest in a mirror.
Right? She's like, he has a reflection. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's being shy about it. She's like, we're not here together tonight, so I'm giving him his space. I hate that. I hate that awkward, you don't really know where you stand with somebody and you don't want to crowd them. And I don't like the beginning of a relationship.
Interesting.
Why?
You're one of the first people I've ever talked to that doesn't like the beginning of a relationship.
And Willow's all like, oh, don't you just love that when it's all new? No. The insecurity is awful.
Yeah.
No, I like knowing where I stand.
I can see that.
But yeah, so Buffy's all lusting after him from a distance. It's kind of creepy stalker behavior.
And then he does come up to her at the end of the night and he's like, hey, I'm headed back now. The dorm is it's a really bad neighborhood or whatever around the Bronze. I've heard people being bitten.
Right.
And he's like, so maybe we should walk together or whatever.
Yeah, so she gets all happy, and he walks her back to her dorm room.
They get to the door. I appreciate her giving us a little furniture lesson, too. She's like, here's my door, wood. Maybe a wood veneer.
And they're, just about to kiss when Willow runs up.
Willow interrupts them because of something that happens as Oz and his bandmate are packing up their van.
Yeah. Somebody runs up to Willow, and she knows this person.
Yeah, from high school.
Harmony.
Harmony, yeah, that's her name. I couldn't remember.
Harmony. So she was an annoying cheerleader type bitch that hung out with Cordelia. We knew Harmony. She was mean to Cordelia when Cordelia stopped being popular.
Yeah. Yeah, she was on the show a little bit. Yeah, you know her.
Yeah.
She's the cute blonde.
But she's not so cute anymore. I mean, she is still really hot, actually, but she has that ugly vampire face now.
Yeah, because she's become a vampire.
and she bites Willow. I was really thrown by this. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought if you get bit by a vampire, you turn into a vampire, but apparently not.
Apparently, it's kind of like, I guess, a snake or whatever. Like, a snake can bite you, but not inject the poison into you. Like, if you get it really quick, I mean, I don't know how fast they inject their venom, but if you get to theoretically, if you get to a snake fast enough, it won't have time to inject its venom into you. So I think that was the situation where she had begun to bite her. She broke the skin, but she hadn't yet injected her with the venom that kills you.
That makes sense. I hate that all different vampire, like, universes, like, the people who created the vampires, they all have different things.
Yeah.
Like, just agree on some rules. Like, all zombies, you kill them by stabbing them in the brain.
Sure, yeah. Destroy the brain, yeah.
But, like, vampires have all different things.
Well, yeah, I do agree with that. It is interesting how well vampire fiction has adhered to Return of the Living Dead. Because, by the way, everyone wants to give Night of the Living Dead credit. Return of the Living Dead is where all those rules came from. The zombies wanting to eat brains, destroying the brain, destroying the head. Like, that, none of that stuff came from Night of the Living Dead. I mean, they sort of alluded to it a little bit, but the whole, like, the cementing of the lore of what zombies are like came from Return of the Living Dead. An underrated classic of the schlocky horror genre.
Interesting.
It's almost as good as sorority babes in the slime Boulderama.
Wow.
No, it's a better movie than that.
Well, like, okay, Interview with a Vampire.
Yes.
It seems similar, where, like, they could feed off of somebody and not turn them into a vampire.
Correct. And could feed off somebody and not kill them.
Yeah.
Keep them like a slave, like a Renfield type thing. Because it's a Dracula thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Renfield was like that. I'm trying to think, though, but there are some lore where, like, if they bite you, you just turn.
I guess. I don't know. It's always like hit or miss for me. Like I never understand the rules of, like, some people get bit and they die, and some people get bit and turned into other vampires. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and Buffy died when she got bit by the vampire before.
Yeah.
But she didn't become a vampire.
No, she came back to life.
I guess we should have been prepared. Anyway, Willow's fine. She just needs a gigantic Band-Aid on her neck for the rest of the episode. But she has been bit, So Buffy runs into Harmony the next night when she's out with Parker.
Yeah, they go to a party.
No.
Because, well, with this reveal comes before this, too. So Harmony goes back. She says to Willow, because Willow wards her off with... Willow wards her off with a cross and everything, and she's like, I'm going to tell my boyfriend.
No, Oz warded her off with the cross, and she's like, your boyfriend, got me. I'm going to send my boyfriend after you or something like that. Yeah.
And she goes, and it's revealed, but it was already revealed because I know the person that plays Spike, plus they also said as Spike, James Marsters as Spike in the opening credits. But it's Spike.
Spike's back. So
not Drusilla, but Spike.
No, just Spike, and he's now with Harmony instead of Drusilla.
Yeah. As we later find out, Harmony left him for a... something?
Oh, Drusilla.
Drusilla left him for something?
Yeah.
A ratter or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, she left him. And, like, him and Harmony have really good chemistry, I think.
Yeah.
Terrible relationship, but very good chemistry.
Right.
At one point, she even says, like, he is continually mean to her, and she's even like, why do I let you be so mean to me? Because, like, he's insulting her, he's abusive, he throws her into walls, like, that's not good.
And you loved all of it.
Well, not all of it, but, it was a little hot.
Yeah.
It was a little hot. So, seeing, okay, wait, sorry. So, Buffy goes to the party with Parker.
Because Harmony says to Spike, she's like, you tell me you were going to take me to parties and you were going to do this and then he's like, look, I'm trying to, like, keep a low profile. I don't want the Slayer to know I'm here. Because he's looking for something. Yeah. He has a construction project underneath ground going on.
Yeah, he's digging tunnels looking for...
something. We find out later
Okay.
what he's looking for.
A gem.
Yeah, the amulet of...
They didn't say amulet, just gem.
Agamemnon. No, they did. They said it was like the amulet of something that started with an A.
Okay.
Yeah, they said it.
I'm pretty sure it was a gem.
It turns out to be a gem, yeah, but they say amulet. That's why he looked at the thing on the chain.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, he's looking for stuff. Harmony's bored. She's like, take me to a party. She wins this argument.
Yeah.
So Buffy's at the party with Parker instead of out patrolling for vampires like she should be because she's all in her relationship. Mm-hmm. And she runs into Spike and Harmony.
Yep.
Dragging along a very pale man in between the two of them.
A potential victim.
I mean, he's obviously already a victim.
And they're like, oh, hi.
Yeah, it's a very awkward little exchange. And
Buffy's like, oh, these are people that I knew in high school.
Yeah, and then Parker. Spike just drops the body and takes off running. Mm-hmm. And Buffy goes after him. When she returns, Parker is really cool about that. Yeah,
it almost made me think that Parker was a vampire. Except that he had a reflection or whatever. But he was like, oh, hey, what was going on with that? Like, you chasing after him. And she's like, he's not supposed to be drinking. Because he has a problem or whatever. And so, like, I caught him drinking. And she's like, oh, he goes, oh, did you ever date him or whatever? And she's like, she laughs
so hard.
And she's like, no, nothing. He's like, okay, good. That's all he cared about.
Yeah. So,
but as we learn, Parker has other things on his mind.
He does. Mm-hmm. So they have a nice, interesting little conversation, two of them,
talking about fate and like his dad died recently, and he like living every day to the fullest, and it's okay to make mistakes and
take chances.
Yeah,
make choices.
Yeah.
And then, Buffy...
Say yes to every cock that comes your way.
Right, so Buffy starts kissing him, and he's like, what are you... He's like, what are you doing? She's like, making a choice.
Nice. What are you doing? He says.
Idiot. Not him. Her. She's an idiot. Yeah. Sorry, Buffy.
So they go back to his place?
Her place. I thought, well, no, maybe it was his place. It was his place.
And they have sex.
She finally has human sex.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's exciting. A penis that's warm.
I would I would say his soul stayed in place, but I don't know if he has one.
Right? That is a very good point. So she wakes up in the morning and he's gone. Mm-hmm. And she's looking for her stuff. And it's kind of that, scary moment of, oh my God, did he just take off?
But he's like making breakfast or something?
But he went and got coffee.
Yeah.
So he returns with coffee.
He's like, here, have some coffee.
He's like, oh, my mom's coming by for a visit later. And she's like, oh, I'll make myself scarce, but will you call me later? He's like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Of course. And he doesn't call.
He does not call.
The entire, so we'll get to the other stuff, the vampire stuff that's going on in the episode. But, in the background, everyone's doing shit for, trying to solve this vampire problem. And she keeps coming back to, her answering machine and, calling her answering machine to see if there are any fucking messages and stuff. And everyone knows this. Even at one point, Willow, leaves a message going, hey, did he call yet,
Awful.
And he has not called. And then when she sees him, a day or two later...
Yeah, on the quad.
He's spouting the same shit to another girl.
About his dad dying. How low is that? You're using your dad dying to get laid? Did his dad even die?
I don't know. Did he even have a dad?
Who knows?
Was he birthed out of the head of Zeus? So, before we were together, mm-hmm. I had a few different suitors or suitettes, or I courted a couple different girls.
I'm aware.
And I went through a period where I was doing what this guy was doing. Because, later... No, not exactly what this guy was doing. Because later he's they're talking. Well, when she sees him and everything, she's like, oh, did I misinterpret, like...
Did I do something wrong? She asked that.
And he's like, no, of course you didn't do anything wrong. And he's like, it was fun, I had fun. And she's like, oh, was it just fun? He was like, well, what else was it supposed to be? Like, I thought, and she's like, well, I thought maybe we were, it was like, he's like, oh, just like, is that what you really want right now? Is like a deep relationship?
He's like, you thought this was some kind of commitment?
Yeah, and he said, is that something you really want right now? Like, he's all acting like she's nuts for thinking this and everything. So my point was, when I was watching this, I was thinking, so I went through a period of time doing kind of what this guy was doing, dating around, not being serious and stuff like that. Just like a couple different, not a lot, but a couple different girls, having like flings and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But I never said my dad died, and I never said like, oh, take a chance or whatever, right? And I was always upfront about it. Like that's the thing is like, he wasn't upfront about this. He made it seem like he wanted to start some sort of relationship with her.
He put a solid time commitment into this, like 5 days of hanging out with her.
Yeah, as opposed to just being like, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious. I like you. Let's go out, have some fun. We'll see what happens and see, if we like each other and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not looking for a serious commitment right now. I mean, that was like a version of that is what I would say to people. Like,
see, guys like that always just made me feel like a clingy asshole. Because that was never what I was looking for.
Oh, okay. I understand. Because I was going to say, like, I don't think anyone that I talked to felt clingy, because this wasn't like this wasn't after like several days or whatever. This is like upfront kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, you would never get anywhere with me. Sorry. Well, I mean, you did eventually, but
we met each other at the right time.
You were done with that game, so.
Well, I don't, and that's the thing is that was a very specific and short period of my life. I don't know that, and who knows? I did date too in that, like more serious dating in that period of time. So
how did you choose who you did the more serious dating and who you just had some fun with?
Based on, like, if I could see a future, like, personality-wise and stuff, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I guess we should talk about the vampires now, because basically Buffy gets her little heart torn out and stomped on.
And she, she's sadder but wiser, like Miriam, the library. Marian, the library.
So, throughout this whole episode, there's the digging going on in the tunnels.
She hears, I think it was, at the party, that's who says it. Harmony's the one that says, once you get the amulet of Agamemnon or whatever it is, you're fucked. And she's like, so she tells Giles what it is.
Right, so he knows what to research.
He's like, the amulet, it's more, it's like a fucking, it's the Holy Grail. It doesn't exist. All that kind of shit.
So what this thing's powers are is that it makes a vampire invincible. Yeah, they can walk in the fucking sun. Like Blade. They turn a vampire into a daywalker who can also live through a staking.
Yeah, how do we find out that they can live through a staking?
Because Harmony...
Because he does eventually... spoilers, he eventually does find this thing.
And Harmony's with him, and they go into this room with, like, all these jewels and stuff. It's like, a cavern of riches.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh.
It is the Cave of Wonders, is exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, take whatever you want. And she's all giddy, and she puts on a ring, and she's annoying him. Mm-hmm. So he takes a stake and fucking stakes her.
Yeah, he goes to kill her.
Yeah. He tried to fucking kill her. Now, this is after earlier in the episode when he has insulted her and shoved her into walls, and then she's all like, she's hot for it, though. They have a weird relationship there.
She really is.
But, I mean, he's obviously been physically abusive, but yeah, he tries to fucking kill her. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work, because she is actually wearing the thing that he was looking for.
Yeah, the gem of Amara.
The gem. I was right. I should have asked if you wanted to fucking bet, shouldn't I?
I'm pretty sure in the episode they say the amulet of Amara, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
Okay.
Anyway, so Spike had previously found a necklace thingy that he put on and was waiting for something to happen, but nothing happened. And now he rips this ring off her finger after he tries to kill her and realizes that she's wearing the amulet. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing. It makes her invincible, but it doesn't make her able to defend herself from him disarming her?
No, it doesn't make anyone able to. It doesn't give them any kind of superpowers in that way where they're extra able to defend themselves.
Right. But she's like, who cares? It's all he cares about, and, whatever. I would have just given it to him. He didn't have to take it from me. Mm-hmm. And then she's just on the ground, like, fucking crying, and it's so sad. Sad for her.
And then she leaves. Mm-hmm. So, you look at me like, what the fuck? No, I'm saying, like, she doesn't get killed. I think she's going to come back.
Oh, okay. And Buffy is super sad. And, like, at the end of the episode, Buffy's super sad. And
okay, but can we talk about what happens with Spike?
Oh, yeah.
Spike puts it on.
Yes.
And goes out in the day and starts punching the shit out of Buffy.
Yeah.
And they have a big fight. And, I mean, it's a choreographed vampire fight. There's not a ton that happens. But she ends up pulling the ring off his finger. It's just that easy.
Doesn't she cut it off?
Maybe she cuts it off. I'm not sure.
I think she cuts his finger. But then how could she do that if he's invincible?
Yeah, I don't think... I don't know. Maybe it grew back. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, it was more of a regenerative thing.
Yeah, because when he spiked her and when he allowed Buffy to spike him, the hole appears. It just, like, closes back up.
Yeah, so I think she cut his fingers off.
Maybe.
Yeah, so she gets the ring off of him, and he starts to smoke and runs and jumps in a tunnel.
Yep.
But
what a fucking loser! Like, he goes through all this trouble, and then like he gets the jump on the Slayer, only to get his ass kicked and have the thing ripped from his possession again.
Sad for him.
Yeah.
Oh. We forgot about a very important storyline that was going on at the same time as all of this.
Well, I figured we would get back. If you're talking about Xander, I figured we'd go back to that at the end.
So I think we're at the go back to that point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one thing happens with this Amara thing.
Okay.
They're looking at it and everything, and they're like, "Oh, it can't be destroyed," or whatever. What the fuck? Should we bury it or whatever? And Buffy's like, "It should go to one person or whatever." Somebody should get it. And Oz looks up. He's like, "Oh, we're playing a show in Los Angeles. I'll take it to him or whatever. Yeah. I'll guest star in an episode of Angel." Because it's going to Angel. So I guess Angel can have adventures during the day, too. I don't know.
Is Angel going to be a day walker like Blade now?
I don't know.
That would make him super cool.
You're obsessed with day walkers, aren't you?
No, I just think it's interesting to have the overlap. Yeah. I mean, we saw Blade... fairly, like, in the last, I don't know, year or two it came out.
It came out last year, yes.
And it's, like, exciting. I like vampires.
It is exciting, you're right. My God.
Okay, so the other thing that's going on is that Wish Demon.
Annabelle.
No, her name is not Annabelle.
Wish Demon.
She's a Wish Demon. What's her name?
Oh, my God.
What the fuck? Why are you laughing?
Wish Demon.
Anya.
Anya is her name. Yeah.
Revenge Demon. Whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, she would grant the wishes of scorned women.
Yeah, well, we remember.
So, yeah, Anya. She is back. She just shows up, like... I don't remember where they were. The Bronze? When she comes up to Xander the first time?
I think they were on campus, maybe, or were they at Giles's?
Yeah, I don't know, but she comes up to him and she's
Wait, was he at home?
The second time he's at home. The first time, am I wrong? Was there only one time?
No, she came up twice.
Okay, so the first time she comes up...
That's not the first thing she does when she goes to his basement. No, she comes up to him and she's like, I think he's with Giles. I feel like he's with Giles, because she comes up and she's like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Anya, what's going on?" And she's like, "What's the status of our relationship?"
Yeah, what's going on with us? And he's like, what relationship? We went to prom. We had one date. And
she's like, look, I left Brandon on 90210 for this.
Yeah. She's like, but I can't stop thinking about you. Mm-hmm. I picture you all the time, sometimes naked. I dream about you. And I mean, she just says whatever the fuck she is thinking.
Well, the thing is like, she's playing this, like, ageless immortal demon or whatever that is now trapped in the body and hormones of a teenage girl. Mm-hmm. So she's like, this is all new to her. She didn't get to experience, like, being a little girl and, like, growing into a woman. It's just all hitting her at once, and she has no idea what to do with it.
So, yeah, she's, like, sad and lost and wants a relationship, and he's like, yeah, that's not really happening.
He's like, well, you know, there's, like, stuff going on right now, but maybe we can get to know each other a little bit better or whatever in the future. And she's like, okay. And then later in the episode, she comes to his house when he's in the basement. Yeah, because he's working for Giles. He's, like, helping Giles with organization of his books or whatever, because she mentioned something like that. She's like, oh, your mom said that you're working for Mr. Giles or whatever. So that's why she sees him there. So anyway, she comes and sees him at his house in the basement, wearing a very nice dress.
Yeah, very pretty dress. Mm-hmm. That she almost immediately takes off.
Yep.
And she's just like, you know, we have interlocking bodies, and it seems crazy not to, you know, interlock. Yeah, she wants to sleep with him. He's like, this is not how this happens.
He like a big dork. Like, instead of just
he is a big dork
taking this opportunity.
Well, of course you would.
But I love how you say that. Of course I would.
Well, we already had a little discussion about your dating life, dear.
Yeah. Basically, what she says is, her theory is, if we sleep together, because I'm having all these thoughts about you, if we do it, I'll stop having these thoughts about you, and then we can just move on. Yep. That's her thought. So they sleep together, and she's like, yeah, okay, I think I can get you out of my system now. He's like, okay. And she's like, what do you mean, okay? And she, like, storms off.
Yeah, so she's, like, very upset, and she's walking off upset at the same time as...
One thing happens before that, though.
Okay.
Because she comes up to him in the dorm. So the third time she comes up to him. While everything's happening. Like, the climax of the episode with Spike and the vampire stuff is happening. And he's like, look, not now. I can't deal with this right now.
Which is fair in this situation.
But it hurt her feelings because he didn't explain.
Right.
She knows about all this shit. He could have said, look, there's world-ending shit going on right now. I mean, not really, but, like, you know, there's vampire shit going on right now. Can we talk about this later? Like, he could have been nicer.
Sure. He's not great at, like, communicating.
No. So she runs off all scorn. And at the end of the episode, we've got Buffy, Harmony, and what's her name? Anya. All, like, converging almost together. All these three scorned women.
Very sad.
Yeah.
I can't remember, and I realize it's sad because we just watched this. Do they come together? What happens?
No,
it's just how it ends.
Yeah, we get a big overview, like a drone, like a crane shot or something like that of the three of them, like a big view of the quad or whatever, and they're all walking, like, towards each other, but we don't see them actually meet.
I bet campuses are full of lots of broken-hearted women.
Yeah, and monsters.
Yeah, the male kind.
Okay. But that is the episode. Finally, a good episode, Carol.
Yeah, so we got Spike and Harmony are monsters right now that we're dealing with. And Buffy finally had sex with a dude.
Right. And
Xander had sex with Anya.
Yeah.
And Spike had sex with Harmony. There was a lot of sex in this episode.
Yeah.
It's a sexy episode.
Finally a good one. I'm so happy. I hope that the rest of them can live up to this quality in the future.
I feel very hopeful.
But Carol, that is the episode. Why don't you tell people where they can find their own gem of Amara, or whatever the fuck it's called.
You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.